klaro na po. It's getting more clearer po that this flood control scandal dyan po sa Pilipinas, hindi lang ito pong isang trabaho ng isang tao, dalawang tao, limang tao po. This is already a mafia-style scandal. Ibig sabihin po, marami ng tao involved dito sa scandal. Dami ng tao involved sa scandal, dami na po benefited from this scandal, not only last year, but it took how many years already po, ongoing ito. Klarong-klaro. But sino? The question is ngayon, sino? Sino ang mastermind? Sino ang mastermind? Klarong-klaro po. From the driver, dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways, involved ang mga drivers. Dyan po sa mga bosses nila, department bosses, mga engineers, mga directors, no? Mga chief nila po. And then from there, taas na po dyan sa Kongreso. And from the Congress, pasok na po dyan sa mas mataas sa undersecretary, so they even mentioned about the executive secretary, although they did not mention the name of that executive secretary. But in the Philippines, we only have one executive secretary. And to the speaker, to these senators, but the only thing na hindi pa natin alam po, kung sino talaga, hanggang dyan na lang ba sa Senado, sa House of Representatives, or involved pa doon sa Malacanang. When we talk about Malacanang, ibig sabihin, whether we like it or not, I'm sorry to mention this, but doubts are there whether our own president, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, is involved in this anomalous transactions po. I'm not saying the president is involved, but based on the hearings of the Blue Ribbon Committee carried out this morning, and until now, for something na po, PM, still ongoing pa po ang Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, na nakita natin po, although it's not mentioned na si President Bongbong Marcos, let me make it very clear. It's not mentioned po. No? It's not mentioned that President Bongbong Marcos is involved in this scandalous transactions. Transactions po, it's not mentioned po. But lumalabas, dahan-dahan po, lumalabas na po. Sino-sino ang mga tao involved. And it is not only ordinary government servants. It's not only ang sabihin natin na government servants, but it is now involved ang mga politicians, elected politicians natin po. And of course, elected senators. Although these are just allegations, for example, when we talk about the House of Representatives, already mentioned during the hearing today, ang pangalan ni former Speaker of the House of Representatives, si Congressman or Representative Martin Romualdez. Nandiyan na po ang mga pangalan. Ang pangalan ni Congressman Representative Saldico, which is ngayon po is nowhere to be found. The last official news that we received, that he went to United States of America for medical reasons. But the latest news that we heard, that he already left America. Even stories, they say that he went to Italy, he went to Paris or France, and we don't know kung nasaan siya ngayon. Although he's given 10 days to return back to the Philippines, the order was issued by the newly elected House of Representatives, si Speaker Faustino Boji D. III. But hanggang ngayon po, wala tayong news. Wala tayong news po. And of course, mention ang pangalan ni, as what I said, former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Now, today's hearing dyan po sa Senado, sa Blue Ribbon Committee, names are mentioned also like Senator Chis Escudero, Senator Bong Revilla, and Senator Nancy Binay. So ngayon may a little bit of misunderstanding according to si Engineer Bryce Hernandez, na when ang lawyer niya si Attorney Fortune yesterday mentioned that there are 6 senators mentioned in this scandalous dealings po. But he denied. Si Bryce Hernandez, Engineer Bryce Hernandez, denied po na there is no such thing as 6 senators. But he was saying, or he said, that dami pa po mga congressmen. Kung sino-sino yan po, we still don't know. We are still waiting for them to, sabi natin, to reveal the names. Now, all these contractors, kagaya ni Discayas, si Hernandez, si JP Mendoza, si Henry Alcantara, Engineer Henry Alcantara, and others po, that includes si contractor din po, contractor si Sally Santos. Now they were given already this witness protection program. They are now under the witness protection program. Now, make it very clear. Let's make it very clear. Once you're already inside the witness protection program, it doesn't mean that you are a state witness. Hindi po. That is a different thing po. This witness protection program is only talking about the fiscal security of the people mentioned. People mentioned po, or the applicants. Because may mga threat, takot sila sa buhay nila po, takot sila sa buhay ng kanilang immediate family members. That's why they applied. And the Department of Justice, under the Secretary of Jesus Crispin Remulla, already officially announced that they are already under the witness protection program ng DOJ. So, klarong-klaro yun po. Klarong-klaro yun po. Okay, this morning, everybody, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, we are waiting for this day. Today po. Today po. Why? Because we are waiting for this hearing sa Blue Ribbon Committee, because earlier, ang chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee mentioned that itong pangalan, si Engineer Undersecretary Roland Bernardo will be present as a resource person po. And he will be divulging or revealing very valid informations po. Very valid informations. Right? So, nandito po, before anything else, nandito po, I will share with you itong video clip, a portion of the revelation of Undersecretary Roland Bernardo po during the hearing this morning. This morning po. Let's listen first to this. It is a little bit long, but anyway, kailangan po for you to watch and listen to this video clip po, kasi you will really understand. You will understand ano talaga, what is really happening, and sino-sino ang mga tao involved dito po sa anomalya, dito po sa flood control scandal po. And this scandal doesn't involve only few thousands or 1 million, but it involves billions of pesos, and who knows, trillions of pesos po. And hot issue ito po. Kaya nga, galit na galit ang mga tao po, kasi ang mga pera ginamit nila po, galing sa pera ng bayan, galing sa mga taxpayers' money po. And it was for this reason that last Sunday, September 21 po, nakita natin po na very big crowd gathering or rally po, demonstration last Sunday po, wherein the Filipino people, ang boses ng masa po, shouted that ikulong na ang mga kurakot. Sobra na, tama na. Later on, I will talk to you, I will share with you some comments or my opinion po. Kasi mayroon na po, may isang senador, sinabi dyan po, but I will talk later on, I will tell you later on po. Hindi lang sobra na, tama na. Mayroon pang dagdag dyan po. No? So you stick with me ngayon hanggang matapos sa itong programa natin, and I would like to extend my invitation to all of you, especially mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah po, no? And very specific dito sa Kota Kinabalu. Nandito si Nico Fabian sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico po, because I will make sure that siguro hindi naman na breaking news, no? But I'll make sure that you will still receive a fresh news from Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico pagdating ang what is happening dyan sa Pilipinas. Dyan sa Pilipinas. Okay. Okay, sana tayo. Let's see kung sana tayo po. Nandito po ang revelation, a portion of the revelation of USEC, Undersecretary Ronald Bernardo. Kaninang umaga ito po sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Nandito po. Hold on, ha?
I've also heard for the first time.
Hold on. Ibalik natin ulit.
At about the same time, after the 2025 SONA, I've also heard for the first time that aside from the 2020-2040 scheme, there were flood control projects, ghost projects, for which Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Hernandez, Engineer Mendoza, and Engineer Dumasig were also responsible. These were confirmed later by Secretary Bunaan during a separate legislative hearings. I called up Engineer Alcantara to ask him about these flood control ghost projects. He denied any participation. Subsequently, he likewise told me that he even convened the officers of Bulacan First DEO to confront them about these ghost projects, and that some officers, it was Engineer Hernandez who was the primary person responsible for the same. In the exact words of Engineer Alcantara, si Price po yan. I categorically state that I have neither knowledge nor participation in these flood control ghost projects. Congressman Saldico. My personal knowledge regarding Congressman Saldico are set out as follows. Congressman Saldico one time called me to say that he met Engineer Alcantara and wanted to confirm, maayos bang kausap si Engineer Alcantara? To which I replied, maayos po. Engineer Alcantara then told me that Kong Saldico was asking for a 25% commission, and out of that amount, 2% was to be shared equally between Engineer Alcantara and myself. In his exact words, boss, hati na tayo sa 2%. Furthermore, Engineer Alcantara would tell me every time that he made deliveries of cash to Congressman Saldico in compliance with his commitment to Congressman Saldico. In this affidavit, I shall mention my personal knowledge regarding Senator Chis Escudero as follows. Maynard Ngu and I are close friends and may go years back. He is also a close friend and campaign contributor of Senator Chis Escudero. Maynard Ngu asked me to submit a list of projects. I personally submitted a list of projects to Maynard Ngu, and some of the items therein pertaining to Valenzuela and Marinduque projects were subsequently included in the General Appropriations Act. A copy of the list of Valenzuela and Marinduque projects is here to attach to this affidavit as Annex A. When I gave him the list, and in relation to the commitment, I asked him, Boss, paano to? Maynard replied, of approximately 800 million or about 160 million to Maynard Ngu, which was meant for Senator Escudero. Finally, I would like to add that deliveries of cash were personally made to me by me to Maynard Ngu at his office in Manila. I confirm that Commissioner Libana requested that he be referred to officers of DPW's Bulacan First DEO. I referred him to Engineer Bryce Hernandez. I have no personal knowledge if they were able to secure a project in Bulacan First DEO. Furthermore, and subject to possible referral to an executive session upon the approval of the Honorable Chairman, I attest to the broader systemic issues in DPWs that are widespread. My statements hereunder are based on personal knowledge and direct interactions with the personalities involved with great risk to my safety and that of my family members. I confirm the following. Yusek Traigib Olaybar of DepEd. Yusek Traigib Olaybar used to work for Senator Ramon Bong Revilla and Senator Sani Angara before his appointment as Yusek for the Department of Education. Sometime 2010, I met for the first time Yusek Olaybar, who was then working in the office of Senator Bong Revilla. Later, I learned that he transferred to the office of Senator Edgardo Angara and then later to Senator Sani Angara. Sometime 2024, Yusek Olaybar personally called me for a meeting to discuss about unprogrammed appropriations, supposedly for the office of the Executive Secretary. In the said meeting, he requested me to submit a list of projects. After the meeting, I asked Bulacan First DEO to prepare a list of projects for funding. Thereafter, Engineer Alcantara submitted a list of projects worth 2.85 billion. Hereto attached as Annex B is a list of those projects. Subsequently, I submitted this list to Yusek Olaybar. Yusek Olaybar told me that the commitment is 15%. In his words, Boss, 15 yan. Thereafter, the DPWs received a special allotment release order for 2.85 billion for the projects listed in Annex B. Engineer Alcantara from time to time would collect and deliver the agreed 50% commitment to me, which I delivered or caused to be delivered to Yusek Olaybar in Magallanes, Makati, and other places. Senator Ramon Bong Revilla. Sometime in the year 2024, Senator Revilla and I met where I gave him a list of projects given to me by Engineer Alcantara. Senator Revilla asked for a commitment, which I suggested, then he approved at 25% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list here to attach as Annex C. I relayed the 25% commitment to Engineer Alcantara and told him that Senator Revilla will appreciate additional contributions for his senatorial re-election bid. Engineer Alcantara collected the 25% commitment, or about 125 million, which was turned over to me and then delivered to Senator Revilla in his house in Cavite. Senator Nancy Binay. Sometime in the year 2024, Carlin Villa, a staff of trusted confidant of Senator Binay, called me and asked for a commitment which was set at 15% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list here to attach as Annex D. I relayed the 15% commitment to Engineer Alcantara. Engineer Alcantara collected 15% commitment, or about 37 million, which was turned over to me and which I then delivered to Senator Binay at the house in Quezon City. Given the complexities of the transactions and personalities involved, I humbly reserve the right to submit a supplementary affidavit if warranted in the premises.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin po ang revelation, ang confession, portion of the confession of Yusek Ronald Bernardo. Klarong-klaro po. Klarong-klaro. Klarong-klaro po na hindi lang ito isang tao, dalawang tao, tatlong tao, 5 tao po. Grupo na ito po, mafia na ito po, no? Mafia to siphon the money of the government, to siphon the money of the Filipino people. Ang taxes natin po. Kaya nga ganit na ganit natin po. We don't enjoy better public facilities po kasi wala. Mayroon ang intensyon ng gobyerno to give us magandang public facilities, infrastructures. But hindi natuloy po dahil itong mga tao po, corrupt, involved sila po, selfish po, they siphon the money, use it, other purposes, for personal use po, enjoy ang pamilya nila, enjoy mga anak nila, enjoy mga kaibigan nila po, at the expense of the Filipinos. Poor Filipinos who are paying our taxes po. Paying our taxes. Nasaan ang justice? Nasaan na ang accountability? Anong klaseng sistema mayroon tayo when it comes to due process ng justice natin po, ng gobyerno, ng law natin? Nakita na natin po, lahat na po, nandyan na po. Na-confess na ngayon si Bernardo, Undersecretary Bernardo po. Siya pala po, from the contractor, ang mga officials ng Department of Public Works and Highways and other government agencies po. That includes, nag-mention din po, there is something na involvement ang COA. Ang COA po, no? So ito pala si Bernardo, he is the one who is negotiating sa mga senador, sa mga congressmen po. He is the one who is delivering the money po, no? And he negotiates po kung ilang percentage. In fact, mali pa yun po. There is a big question mark when he said he's giving only 15%. But ang sila engineer Henry Alcantara, si engineer Bryce Hernandez, si engineer JP Mendoza, they said they know it is 25%. So missing ang 10%. So saan yun ang 10%? For me, the way how I look at it, my own opinion po, okay, siguro na-promise doon sa itaas 15% and siya na kuha ang 10% and share it with other people. Ang mga tao na po. No? Kaya nga, what kind of a project, infrastructure projects, flood control projects natin po sa Pilipinas po. Completed, and then after a few months, nasira na po. Worst thing, mayroon pa mga ghost projects po. And lahat yun sila po. Parang may autonomy ang Department of Public Works and Highways po. They are the ones, according to Yusek Bernardo, once pasok yan sa National Expenditure Program, nandun na po, ready na ang mga biddings, nag-award na sila po. Alam na sila who are the winners. No? Alam na sila kung sino mga contractors, and they know magkano po they are going to share, give sa proponent, no? Sa mga congressmen sa senador no? So lutong-luto na po. Lumabas na. Ngayon lumabas na po. Ganito po. So we are looking now na ang gobyerno will do something to this po. You just imagine, during the hearing this morning, mga kababayan ko po dito sa Sabah, no? Biro mo, maski ng mga drivers po, ang mga drivers ni Henry Alcantara, ang driver ni Yusek Bernardo po, lumabas na po, nag-confess na po, yes, kami yan po. We are sending the money. we send the money, we deliver the money sa mga tao ng itong mga tao dito sa itaas. Kanina, mayroon din isang VIP, sabihin natin, ano ba yan, how do you call it, ang VIP escort of Congressman Saldi Ko, na-confess din po o nag-reveal din siya po na he participated in delivering pera po kay former Speaker Martin Romualdez sa bahay ni former Speaker Martin Romualdez po. You just imagine what he said, 46 maleta, boxes, luggages, and bawat isang luggage po, mayroon tatak dyan, 48 million. Grabe. Grabe po. And he's willing to stand with this revelation po, no? No matter what will happen. He is a former Marine Master Sergeant yata yun po, no? Nag-assign sa kanya as escort, escort ni Representative Saldi Ko, who is now missing. Grabe po. Grabe ang kalukuhan nila po. So they have to be punished. They have to be punished po, no? Grabe na itong sitwasyon natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kawawa talaga ang mga Pilipino. Kawawa talaga ang mga Pilipino po. Now, let me read you a story, a news article po dyan po sa Pilipinas. And this is coming from, I took it from Philstar. It is a mainstream media po, no? Romualdez take in 1.68 billion cash deliveries by ex-Saldi Ko aid. Okay, nandito po. Yeah, let me read you this story. Ito po ang detalles ng storya. Okay. A former member of the security staff of Representative Elizalde Ko, or Ako Bicol Party List, alleged that he was a part of the team that would deliver suitcases filled with cash potentially amounting to a 1.6 billion pesos po, billion to Representative Martin Romualdez of Leyte, who recently stepped down as House Speaker. Orly Guteza, who said security staff pulled bags of money they were asked to transport or basura or trash, told the Senate Ribbon Committee on Thursday, September 25, which is today, that he reported to work at the Co's home at Bonifacio Global City in Taguig City. Siya po, during the hearing this morning, sabi niya, yes, I saw it with my own eyes. Kami yun po nag-deliver sa bahay ni former Speaker Martin Romualdez, and he mentioned something like 46. Una-una po, somebody sent the money to the house of his boss, si Saldi Ko. Mayroon 46 luggages, and out of the 46 luggages, they brought 35 luggages to the house of Martin Romualdez po. Punong-puno ng pera. Every luggage, mayroon daw po tag na 48 million pesos. So you just multiply it po. 35 times 48 million pesos amounting to 1.68 billion pesos. Grabe po. No? Grabe po. And during the hearing, si Senator Bato de la Rosa and other senators po, they were trying to, that includes also the Senate President po. They say, okay, paano tayo i-solve natin itong problema natin sa flood control projects po, kasi karamihan ng mga kalukuhan nasa flood control projects, no? And they saw that parang may autonomy, control po ang district officers po, especially to start with dyan po sa Bulacan, no? Bulacan. Sa Bulacan po. Sila na po nanggawa lahat. Na? Sila Bryce Fernandez, sila Henry Alcantara, they do the maneuvering of this projects po, anomalous construction dealings, dealings po. Pero ang representative nila po si Yusek Ronald Bernardo is the one who is dealing doon sa itaas, sa mga congressmen, sa mga senador. Allegedly pa, allegedly pa po. Kung magkano magbigay, kung maglabas daw ang proyekto sa GAA from National Expenditure Program, tapos confirm sa GAA, as long as included na sa NEP, mayroon na po certain percentage that itong si Yusek Bernardo will go and deliver a certain percentage to Saldico and to other. Si Saldico will also pass the shares to other people po. But we don't know. Hanggang dyan na lang ba yun kay Speaker or former Speaker Martin Romualdez, or mayroon pa sa itaas? Sino talaga sa itaas? Sino talaga sa itaas po? Or baka hanggang dyan lang sa kanya? We still don't know po. And this is what we want to know. Kung how far is this mafia style robbery, scandal, scandal po. How far po? Hanggang sa speaker na lang ba? Or dyan po sa Senado, of course, mention ang mga pangalan. Sino-sino ang mga pangalan po mention? Earlier, it was mentioned na Senator Jingo Estrada. Of course, nandyan po si Joel Villanueva, Senator Joel Villanueva, and former Senator Bong Revilla, former Senate President Chis Escudero. And ngayon po, dagdag ang pangalan na nag-deliver din ang some money to former Senator Nancy Binay, who is now the mayor of Makati. Definitely po, maybe later or tomorrow, you will hear them vehemently denying this allegation of Undersecretary Bernardo. After he read his affidavit, ito si Bernardo po, then si DOJ Secretary Crispin Remulla brought him to the office and of course evaluated ang affidavit niya, ang claims niya, and proceeded with the necessary procedures together with the NBI po for filing of cases po, no? And they will evaluate whether he will qualify for state witness po, no? State witness po dito sa issue na ito po. So, yun po ang itong ang problema natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Dyan sa Pilipinas. Klarong-klaro po na kalukuhan na ito. Okay, as what I said earlier, some of the senators were saying, paano tayo? How to make sure that this will not be repeated in the future. Some were saying, okay, stop giving the authority itong mga projects po sa district engineer's office. Kasi apparently they saw na may control itong district office po, no? Kasi sa distrito ang mga proyekto. So, will it solve the problem? And nagsalita si Senator Bato de la Rosa. It sounds funny, but very practical. Nagtanong siya po kay Undersecretary anong suggestion mo to solve this problem? To make sure that it will not happen again. Kaya nga sabi niya, yes, it's likely, sabi ni Undersecretary po. Sabi niya, pwede din yun po, no? Diretso na sa central office, sa Department of Public Works and Highways o sa regional, wag nang sa what is happening now sa district. Kaya sa Bulacan, district yun sila po, no? Sabi naman ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, kung mayroon tayo death penalty dito sa Pilipinas sa mga corruption, sa mga corrupt individuals, will you dare to do this kind of big sabihin natin iskandalo, anomalya po? Sabi niya, kung may death, sabi ni Undersecretary, kung may death penalty po, I don't think so po na I will do this kind of illegal activities. See? So, ibig sabihin, if you look at it, kailangan na ba tayo? Do you think the government, do you think our lawmakers, our legislators should pass a bill and approve itong death penalty po for corruption activities? Para sa mga corrupt. And of course, included na sa mga those involved sa droga, illegal drugs. Kasi if you will just put it again sa regional or sa provincial or whatever po, hindi takot ang itong mga tao po. You see? They're not afraid. Pero siguro kung may death penalty po, yon na po, mag-isip na talaga sila. They have to think twice. Because you will be, what? Firing squad, hang, or what? No? If you commit this kind of plunderous act. See? What do you think po? Although we are a Roman Catholic country po and we don't agree with the death penalty, but sometimes, siguro po, with the gravity of what is happening now, ang mga tao, wala na silang respeto sa law natin, no? Wala na sa respeto sa constitution natin, sa mga law of the land natin po. Kaya nga, they are doing these things po. Kasi, siguro kulang ang ngipin ng law natin. Or maybe, the authorities concerned are not fully enforcing the law. Kasi mahirap din yun po. When you talk about the due process po, it will take a long time. Long time po. For the rich, it will take a long time. For the poor, magnakaw ka ngayon, bukas nasa kalaboso ka na. Pero sa mga mayaman, bilyon na pera ang nagnakaw sila po. They will use that money, people's money po, to get a good lawyer and delaying technique po. And nandyan pa sila sa labas. Samantala, ang mga ordinaryong taong Pilipino na walang pera, mahirap ang buhay, nagnakaw lang ng konti, maybe 500 pesos worth of goods, 1,000 pesos worth of goods, or even 5,000 pesos worth of goods, dire-diretso po. Dire-diretso po, kalaboso. Pero itong mga mayaman, hindi. Kasi may pera pa sila. May pera pa sila po. And kaninang galing yung pera? Pera natin yun po. Grabe po what is happening. Grabe what is happening sa atin. See? Yun po. I feel very sad. Although, nakita ko po yun si Yusek Bernardo kanina. He shows remorse. Na-regret siya po, naghingi siya ng patawad sa atin, no? Pero that's not enough. That's not enough po. You even cry, I'm sorry to say this thing, you even cry in front of the people, but I think the people don't deserve and say, we will forgive you dahil lang po umiyak ka na po. I think what we want is, you have to pay for the crime. Time does not pay. Remember that po. Remember that. Kasi mahirap na po. Ang dami na po involved dito po sa sa corruption sa Pilipinas. So at the moment, nandyan na po ang mga pangalan. Si Senator Chis Escudero, si ex-Senator Bong Revilla, si ex-Senator Nancy Binay, itong si Representative or Congressman Zaldico, DepEd Undersecretary Tridib Olivar, and COA Commissioner Mario Di Pana. COA Commissioner po. Ang COA po, kailangan din yun po, no? Because the way how things are moving, based on the investigations carried out, ongoing ito po, na mayroon nakalimutan mo. Or maybe ang COA did not do their job properly. And command responsibility po. I was made to understand the COA Commissioner is still on leave. Nasa Singapore siya ngayon po. And impeachable. Impeachable officer yan po. Are we going to impeach? Itong mga lawmakers natin, are they going to, mga congressmen, are they make a move to impeach itong si COA Commissioner or what? And ang Senado will approve it or what? Di na natin po. Di na natin anong next move ng gobyerno. As far as I know, ang mga Filipinos, and I think all of you believe, ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, although kunti lang kami dito, no? Kunti lang kami dito. But we deserve, we deserve that our voices will also be listened. Just like the other overseas Filipino workers, iba-ibang parte ng mundo. Parehas tayo po, Filipino. Parehas tayo. Kung maskin sa labas ng bayan natin, kami, o tayo, and ang mga Filipino, mga kapatid natin doon mismo sa Pilipinas po, we are all Filipinos and we are all suffering. You see? We are suffering. Mga overseas Filipino workers po, we are suffering. Why? Because, remember, ang remittances that we are sending every month sa Pilipinas po is a big help to the economy of the Philippines. Grabe po ang ayuda ng remittances namin. Grabe po. And what we are asking is, just to make sure na ang mga loved ones namin that we left temporarily dyan po sa Pilipinas will have comfort, will have better public facilities po. They are safe when they go out at night. Wala tayong problema. They will be safe. They will not be worried kung dumating ang typhoon po. Money of the overseas Filipino workers sent to the Philippines for their loved ones to buy properties, to buy things para sa bahay po, will be safe. Hindi pagdating ang typhoon po, everything will be destroyed or damaged. Pero tingnan nyo po, I was made to understand, maski yung bahay daw ni sino ba yun? Ni Congressman Zaldico, now they are starting removing ang mga items sa bahay ni Congressman Zaldico. I don't know where they will put it. Froze. We have to frozen ang mga properties, ang mga pera ng mga tao involved dito po sa scandal. Nila Martin Romualdez, nila Zaldico, nila Bernardo, nila Hernandez, Alcantara, Mendoza, and others. Everybody who signed itong mga ghost project, they signed, mga signatories involved. They signed so that the payment will be released. They should pay it. They should pay it po. We have to make sure, Mr. President, make sure that they pay for the crimes that they have committed. Hindi pwede po. We will say, tapos naman yan. We saw the problem already. Now we are trying to solve it. So kalimutan na natin po. And let's move on. Hindi pwede yan po. Diyan po sa 2025 national budget po, what happened? We still demand si Martin Romualdez to explain to us what really happened. We want Saldico to explain to us what really happened. At saka itong mga iba-ibang mga projects, particularly itong mga flood control projects po and other infrastructure projects. Yun po. Ongoing pa ang investigation ngayon ng Blue Ribbon Committee po. I don't know until what time they will finish. But, yun na po. Galit na ang mga Filipino. Tapos na po. Don't tell us na, okay, move on na tayo. Tapos na yan po. Total, nandito naman kami. We are investigating. Nandito naman ang Independent Commission for Infrastructure. Investigating the itong anomalous transactions po or dealings po. Involved ang mga contractors. Alam niyo po, ang contractor nandito sa baba, ang Department of Public Works and Highways and other government agencies sa gitna. And sa neck po, nandito ang mga legislators natin. So, itong tail, body, neck, parang buhaya yon po. Buhaya yon po. So, what we want to know is, may ulo ba yan o walang ulo ang buhaya? Definitely po, gumagalaw pa itong buhaya, ibig sabihin may ulo yan, buhay yan. No? Buhay yan po. Kasi gumagalaw eh. Naggalaw pa po. Grabe ang kumain ang itong buhaya po. So, ibig sabihin, may ulo yan na sino ang ulo? Sino ang ulo po? Sino ang ulo? Do you think we will be able to know kung sino ang ulo? Kung sakali po lumabas ang pangalan ng ulo po. So when we want to kill a crocodile or kill a snake, hindi ba dapat po focus natin sa ulo? Para diretso na po, patay na ang ahas o patay na ang buhaya. Don't tell me you want to kill a buhaya or a snake, ang ahas po, you will chop ang tail niya? Hindi po. Diba? Hindi mamatay agad. But if you want to kill ang ahas or ang buhaya po, sa ulo talaga. Kailangan sa ulo. So, sino yan sa ulo po? You know, I know lang. Pero wala tayong ebidensya. I'm not saying anything. Kayo na po. Bahala to think. But there is only one thing that I can tell you po. Ang mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, Mr. President, or kayo, mga contractors, kayo, mga involved, government departments, officials, involved dito sa anomalya po. Kayo, mga legislators namin, mga congressmen, mga senado, now that your names were mentioned, we want that you will be, or you will pay. We are calling for justice. We are calling for accountability. We want you involved, if found guilty beyond reasonable doubt po, you have to pay for the crimes that you have committed. For the sufferings that you have created sa amin po. Sa amin po. Kami mga Pilipino po. Believe din ako sa anak ni Representative Saldico po. Siya mismo po tumawag sa tatay niya. Balik ka na dito sa Pilipinas. Asking, you will disown me, but I cannot accept what you have done. Yun, that is the message that he was passing. Saludo ako po. I hope this is not just a drama. I hope this is not. No offense lang to the son of Saldico. Pero, I salute ang courage ng bata na yan. Anak ni Saldico. Siya mismo po tumawag sa tatay niya po. Uwi ka na and face ang mga charges mo dito sa Pilipinas mo. Kasi apektado siya, apektado ang pangalan nila. Pangalan nila, ang reputasyon ng mga anak nila, ninyo, ni Saldico. So, saludo ako po sa anak ni, I forgot the name po. But anyway, kung hindi yung drama, then, saludo ako sa iyo. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang muna tayo sa programa natin kasi mamaya or after this, I will still continue to do my monitoring po sa Blue Ribbon Committee. And whatever, kung ano man ng mga detalles or breaking news dyan po, I will make sure na tayo, mga Filipino kababayan ko po, mga kapatid ko po, mga Malaysian friends ko dito sa Malaysia po, I'll make sure that through this Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico po, you will be informed immediately. I might not be the first one to break the news, but definitely you will be informed. Definitely you will be informed. So, whatever updates mayroon tayo tungkol ang sitwasyon dyan sa Pilipinas. Okay, ano pa? Mayroon pa ba tayo dito? Okay? Just for your information lang po, no? Just for your information. Let me... Signal number 3 na po. Race in parts of Samar as Opong accelerate. Ito po, typhoon yan, Typhoon yan po sa Pilipinas. Let me share with you this news para at least you have an idea sa weather condition din sa Pilipinas. Some parts of Samar have been placed under tropical cyclone wind signal or TCWS number 3 as a severe tropical storm. Opong, international name Baulo, maintains its strength while moving closer to the eastern Visayas and southern Luzon. As of 2 p.m., Pagasa said that Opong is estimated to be at 255 kilometers east of Guan, eastern Samar, packing maximum sustained winds of 110 kilometers per hour or kph near the center and gusts wind to 135 kilometers per hour while moving westward at 15 kilometers per hour. TCWS signal number 3 has been raised over the following areas where storm force winds 89 to 117 km per hour are expected within 18 hours, posing a moderate to significant threat to life and property. Kaya nga, ingat tayo po. Ingat tayo po dyan sa Pilipinas dahil itong problema natin ang Typhoon Opong. Grabe ang Typhoon Opong, ano? Grabe ang Typhoon Opong. Mayroon pa ba tayo may, let's see, if I can give you other news. Other news pa po. Tingnan natin. Yun ang latest natin tungkol sa weather forecast sa Pilipinas. Alright. Alright, sandali po. Let's see kung pwede pa tayo makuha ng news dito, Okay. Sandali. Okay, mayroon pa ba tayo dito? Okay, kanina I mentioned about the Senator Chis Escudero. Ito naman ang reply ni Senator Chis Escudero. Senator Francis Chis Escudero today said former Department of Public Works and Highways PWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo's kickbacks for infrastructure projects accepted kickbacks for infrastructure projects was part of a well-orchestrated plan to attack Senate and its members. Bernardo earlier in the day claimed he delivered the payoff meant for Escudero to the senator's campaign donor Maynard Ngo. Escudero rejected Bernardo's malicious allegations and mga claims po. Expected yun po. Expected yun. Si Senator Escudero will vehemently deny po. Mayroon ba tayo dyan po, no? Kung hindi totoo, then you say it's not. But expected na yan po mga reply ganyan, no? But that's the latest on the part of Chis Escudero. While si Nancy Binay din po, former Senator Nancy Binay, who is now the Makati Mayor, ito naman po ang sagot niya po. Former Senator and now Makati Mayor Nancy Binay said today that the accusations that she supposedly accepted kickbacks was meant to divert public attentions away from the real perpetrators of corruption in flood control projects. Former Department of Public Works and Highways, PWH, Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, earlier in the day, accused former Senate President Francis Escudero, Ako Bicol Party List Representative Saldis Co, former Senator Bong Revilla, and Binay of accepting kickbacks from infrastructure projects. She said the performance in public services has always been above board and beyond a shadow of a doubt. Diyan po, sabi ni Binay. Mayor Binay. I don't know kung mayroon ba tayo dito reaction coming from Bong Revilla, former Senator Bong Revilla. Alright, wala pa yata, no? Wala pa yata reaction si Senator Bong Revilla. Okay, but anyway, I'll give you whatever updates mayroon tayo po. Standby lang kayo dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Once again, ingat tayo po, no? Ingat tayo mga kapatid, kababayan ko dyan po sa Pilipinas. May typhoon tayo dyan sa Pilipinas ngayon. Ingat lang tayo po, no? And make sure na ang mga bata, the children, the sick ones, the senior citizens po, make sure that you give extra attention to them po, especially when your area is experiencing heavy downpour because of storm Opong. Ingat lang tayo po. Siguro nandito na lang muna tayo sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Ingat kayo po. And tomorrow is Friday. Thanks God it's Friday. Last day of working day. Working day sa week na ito po. And I will hope and wish that Saturday and Sunday will be a very memorable and problem-free weekend para sa ating lahat. So with this, Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and I see you in my next episode. Bye. Love you.